Martika. Here. Councilmember Peterson.
Here.
DeBoer.
Here.
McKinney.
Present.
Rochford. Absent. Gobo.
Here.
Perez. Absent. City Manager Vandevis.
Here.
Clerk Bachman speaking.
Okay, and I'll ask for the approval of the minutes of our last meeting, which was October the 15th.
I'll make the motion.
Okay, motion by Dick,
Support.
support by Clark. All in favor? Aye. None opposed? Okay. Any public discussion this afternoon?
Yes.
All right, if you would the podium and state your name and your address for the record.
My name is Jim Grinnell. I'm from Elton, but I'm representing Chuck Kegel from Chuck's Towing. Chuck isn't able to be here. He has Parkinson's and doesn't go out in public very often. And his wife, Jean Kegel, lives here, and his primary towing driver. They'll have a few comments to make after I do the introduction. Twice we have gone to the county commissioners and asked to make sure that there's a rotation call being made on tow truck drivers. And the county is doing better with those phone calls. The city of Bad Axe does not. They very rarely ever call Chuck's Towing. We don't know why, but we'd like the city council to try and figure out what the reason is so that everybody who does towing gets a fair shake. I think I'll just let Mrs. Kegel talk now, and then I'll perhaps finish up later.
Okay, thank you.
Good evening. Since I was here for, since I've been here for 8 years, and I noticed that we don't have calls from the city. Before, we used to have rotation, but now no more. And since we are dedicated to do the job, and we are committed to work for the people, and we required all the city gave us the requirement, like for the fence security yard, and we operate legally, and our driver has a license, and I felt like treated differently because I'm a Filipino, or I just don't know why. And since we are taxpayer too, and then just want to know what's going on and what's the reason why. Hopefully this can be solved, because we need some rotation so everybody will be happy. I know there are competitions, but rotations, just be fair. That's all for now.
Sarah Jane just reminded me while she was talking that when we met with the county commissioners, Randy Miller joined us at the second meeting, and he apparently is in charge of dispatch for sending out tow trucks. And he had a log sheet of who was getting called with the numbers, and he indicated that one of the competitors, Max Towing, had the same number of calls as Chuck's. Those are the two leading places. But then when we looked at the figures, Max had only been in business 6 months, and they had the same number as Chuck's for 1 year. So obviously those statistics are not equal. And we know there's at least 2 other new competitors, so we know there's more business being spread around, but it still doesn't look like there's a rotation basis going on, especially in the city of Apex. Bill is the main truck driver. He may have a few incidents to report. Bill, can you come up?
Hello, my name is Bill Monticello from Bad X. Worked for Chuck's Towing for a long time. It's just, a lot of times if there's an accident tow that happens in the city, they used to rotate amongst different towing services. They may have one vehicle towed by one towing service and another towed by another. Lately, it just seemed to be given it to just one towing service, and that isn't us. It's just, we've had different people complain to us that they requested us once they had an accident, maybe you hit a deer or something like that, and they requested for our towing service to be called, and they were told tough. And dispatch to even run the call until a relative informed me of such activity. So it's kind of different, you know, what is going on with the rotation basis for towing. And I don't know what we've done to be pulled from such rotation, is what I wanted to say. Thank you.
Thanks, Bill. Mary Jane, anything else you'd like to say? Thank you for letting us state our position, and hopefully you can look into it and be able to present us with a solution. Thank you.
I have a question for you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Do you have any figures of what the city has done as far as calls to you or to others?
Did you get a copy?
I didn't get a copy since he just showed to us the numbers, but as far as I remember, only 2 calls difference from Chubb's and the other towing company. So for them to operate for 6 months, that's how they get
Right now, are we talking for the city of Bad Axe or the
it. As
county?
of right now,
No, those numbers at the time were countywide.
it's only 2 calls
It wasn't
difference.
just for the city, but
Yeah.
I think it
because
was countywide.
county.
Let's see. Probably Randy Miller would be able to separate the calls from Bad X from the rest of the county. He
Okay.
would probably respond quicker to you than he would to us. So
Okay.
if you could find out, we'd appreciate that.
See
Thank you,
what's
sir.
what, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Thank you. Okay, anyone else? All right, moving on, our order of business for this evening, we have a mayoral proclamation for Veterans Day. It's the fact that we are with our servicemen and women, and we are observing Veterans Day on Sunday, November 11th. Unless you want me to read the proclamation? No? Okay, so that is our,
Do we need a motion for that?
no, just, okay. All right, and then, moving on to our Finance Committee for tonight.
Well, finance met. And we have the Mauer Electric upgrade lighting to the wastewater treatment plant to LED lighting. Mauer has been involved in the building of the treatment plant and involved with the grant application that they're
receiving money back for the rebate for the fixtures. So total bid came in at $3,136, and it was finance's recommendation to go with Mauer and pay that bill.
What brought this on as far as needing it? Is it save money going to LED or?
We've been doing a regular rotation of switching over to LEDs. When these grants that come available, then we take a look at what the payback is. The payback to save a pretty good amount of money on the monthly bill is only 14 months. So that's where
Okay.
we thought it would be in the best interest of the city. We're going to be looking at more switchovers too.
I'll make a motion that we pay Mauer Electric for the upgrade of the lighting.
Motion made by Eric,
I'll second it.
second by Dick, and we'll have roll call.
Councilmember McKinney,
Yes.
Goble,
Yes.
DeBoer,
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
and Mayor Patica.
Yes. Okay, approved, thank you.
And finance also worked through with the chief regarding updating the PBTs for the police department, for replacing 4 PBTs that are unable to be upgraded. Total price of $895, which actually is coming through the VADX PD Tech Fund, so it's really not coming out of the budget for the city. So I recommend that the city pay the $895 for the upgrade of the 4 PBTs for the police department.
I'll make a motion. Okay,
Sorry, I'm
no,
sorry.
go ahead, Tammy.
I'll make the motion to approve that.
Okay, I'll support, I'll second.
Okay. Mayor Patica,
Yes.
Councilmember Peterson,
Yes.
DeBoer,
Yes.
Goble,
Yes.
and McKinney.
Yes.
And we have the payment of bills for October 24th, November 1st, for a total of $308,924.13. Probably received those in your packet to review if you have any questions on those.
I'm sorry, Eric, I didn't hear you. We're just doing the two together, right, for that?
Yep.
For the 300?
Yeah.
I'll make a motion that we approve, pay the bills.
Motion made by Tammy, second by Dick, and another roll call.
Okay, Councilmember DeBoer,
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
McKinney,
Yes.
Goble,
Yes.
and Mayor Patica.
Yes. Okay, thank you. Any committee reports tonight? Doesn't look like it. All righty, we'll move on to our mayor and council comments. Eric?
Nothing.
Clark?
I'm looking through the finances. I have a question about, and this, not to approve or approve, the tree service for the DPW. Was that something that was put up for bid?
That's
Yeah,
one
that's
time.
when we started with JP.
When was that?
I can't remember exactly when.
How long is the contract good for?
Once we approved it as our contractor by ordinance, then we're allowed to continue to use them.
Okay,
That's what the promise that we've been operating under.
okay.
So once the bids are submitted, they just follow that same pricing through the jobs.
Gotcha. But let's say, okay, and this is for my own education.
Sure.
For electrical work, is that, you're gonna submit that for each job if it's a big job? Or do you have a contractor that,
Right, Marl Electric is our designated contractor for electrical.
I understand.
Anything else? Nope. Dick?
Yes, I think we're going to have some Hispanic-speaking people in the city within the next 60 days or so. Do we have an officer that can speak Spanish? I see we have one gentleman by the name of Lopez, I believe.
Flores?
Flores? Nate?
Flores.
Nate Flores?
Officer Flores. Can he speak Spanish?
No.
I don't
You
believe
can't.
so, no.
You know, if we ever put another officer on, we maybe should have somebody that can speak Spanish.
Well, I think anybody, when you find somebody that's bilingual, is always a real advantage in that,
Yeah.
certainly.
That's all I have.
Tammy?
Just congratulations to Nate and Sean. And I wondered, what is basic FTO course? What is that?
FTO stands for Field Training Officer, and we've never had a program here on training new hires. And there's a big push in talking to MML from a liability standpoint, not having an FTO program here. It was recommended that we start an FTO program, so when we hire somebody new, we can put them through their program, so if a liability issue comes up down the road, the city's protected by saying, well, we taught them this, here's the paperwork, and here's the signatures on it, and we taught them this, and this is what we trained them to the state standards, to really protect the city from liability issues. So send those two down there, and Sergeant Anderson will be going at a later date. We couldn't send all three at a time because we couldn't fill the road shifts, and then he'll be overseeing the program. And then, you know, if there's any issues with that, then I'll step in. But, you know, now at least we'll have some consistency, well, with the officers, and we'll have a program in place where they'll follow it through. And I think it'll make for better training purposes, and like I said, it'll cover us for liability issues.
Great, thank you.
Dale?
Yeah, I'd just like to thank the Rotary Club and their Interact group who finally completed the painting of the dugouts at the Little League field and with the softball diamonds. They really look great. Appreciate their help with that, very much so.
Becky?
Just a reminder to come out and vote tomorrow.
Wilcox Park from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. And then just to wish all of our veterans a very happy and safe Veterans Day to all those men and women that have served and are still serving, and not only them, but their families as well. And that's all I have. And do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion.
Eric? Support, okay, support. All right, all in favor to go home?